Hello everyone, welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Duncan DeAeth and it's great to have you with us. After two recent fires hit poor communities in the Philippines, volunteers are there to lend a hand. Tzu Chi helps a mother-son pair of care recipients clean their home after it is flooded. An American university and Tzu Chi hospitals offer a mobile app for patients with diabetes. Due to shoddy construction materials and unsafe use of electricity, fires often occur in poor communities in the Philippines, and volunteers are quick to respond. After two recent fires, volunteers were there to give daily supplies, draw up plans to repair homes, as well as provide meals for the victims.
In mid-September, a fire broke out in a community in Manila, Philippines, damaging 170 houses. Upon hearing the news, Tzu Chi quickly responded with relief supplies.
We are still shaking from the fire, but we must accept it and move forward.
Another fire also broke out in this community in Marikina.
Lahat pala ng gamit ko sa loob, sa taas, wala talagang nasip, ubos, mga damit namin.
Although the fire burned down everything we had worked so hard to get, I still hope everyone can recover from this tragedy. I want to thank Tzu Chi because they have come and given us what we need. They've given us some daily goods such as straw sheets and cooking tools. Thank you.
Sa pansaing bigas, salamat po ng marami dahil sila po ang nauna na nakapagbigay sa amin ng tulong.
Tzu Chi volunteers react quickly because they were nearby fixing the home of a care recipient. The same volunteers are talking to the fire victims to see how they can help fix their homes.
Their houses suffered some damage not from the fire but from firefighters as they walked on their roofs to put out the fire. It so happens that we were fixing someone's house and we have the necessary materials. We hope to finish repairing their roofs in a day or two.
The volunteers also borrowed a neighbor's kitchen to cook dinner for the fire victims.
Nandito ako sa Tzu Chi Foundation kasi
I'm grateful that I'm a member of this group, so I can help those who need it. If I were not a Tzu Chi volunteer, I wouldn't have any chance to help people.
hindi rin kami nakatulong dyan sa nasunugan. Andiyan lang kami sa mga bahay-bahay namin.
People should grasp time to give immediately instead of waiting until tomorrow to do good deeds.
With winter just a few months away, Tzu Chi volunteers from Hunan, China have already begun preparations for winter distributions. This year, volunteers are looking to aid low-income sanitation workers. Despite the hardships they face, some workers kindly declined Tzu Chi's offer of aid, as they hope to help others who are less fortunate than themselves.
This is where Zhang Zhihui came across a purse containing 200,000 renminbi.
I was sweeping and I found a purse. When I asked around, a lady said she dropped her purse. I had no idea there was money inside. She said, "Grandpa, there are 200,000 renminbi in there. It's other people's wages."
Despite his worn-out shoes, Zhang, whose name is on the winter distribution recipient list, told volunteers he already has everything he needs. The upcoming winter distribution in Changsha, Hunan is aimed to help sanitation workers who are struggling to make ends meet. Many inspiring stories arose out of these visits as some workers kindly declined to be part of the distribution.
Of course, there are others out there that need it more than we do.
The administrator of the sanitation company also joined the volunteers on this visit. Moved by the selfless act of these workers, the administrator also decided to forgo aid to help others.
Their act of kindness is truly great. I am so touched by their actions.
Thanks to these workers, the streets are well kept and beautiful. However, even more beautiful is the kindness and compassion in their hearts.
Go In Peng, a village leader of Kuala Krau, Pahang, Malaysia, started collecting recyclables after Tzu Chi came to her village to help after flooding in 2014. Every day, she walks the streets collecting recyclables. Despite comments of others, her actions have slowly touched and changed her community, and many now join her in this activity.
At 7 in the morning, there's no sound from any vehicle, but only the sound of bottles and cans. After the floods happened on Malaysia's eastern coast in 2014, Go In Pen began going around the village to collect recyclables every morning. That simple act inspired others to join her.
I saw recyclables floating on the water. If we don't pick them up, they will clog the river mouth and cause flooding.
I collect recyclables because I know she does it too.
I did recycling every day, then I went home and cooked and did my laundry. This made my days busy but fulfilling. Then I slowly recovered from my illness. In the past, I had to take sleeping pills, but now I can sleep well without them.
It is not easy for Go In Pen to do recycling, but she has faced these setbacks bravely.
At the beginning, they said I did this to achieve personal acclaim. I told them it wasn't so. I did it to save the earth. If I do it for a day and take 2 days off, nobody will follow me.
Ordinary people cannot do it, so I admire her a lot. She is able to do it every day because she is strong. If it's for herself, she can't last long.
She hopes more villagers will join her with recycling, so the floods won't come again.
In Penang, Malaysia, a 71-year-old woman, Mrs. Neo, and her son live by themselves after her husband, who was the support of the family, passed away due to a fall 2 or 3 years ago. Life has been difficult for this mother-son pair as they both suffer from intellectual disabilities and are unable to manage household chores properly. Worried about their living environment after some recent flooding, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to help clean up their home along with some relatives.
When Mr. No was still alive, he did all the household chores. He was very healthy and strong, but he suddenly passed away after a fall 2 or 3 years ago.
After Mr. Nyong passed away, everything has changed. Life has also become more difficult for this family. Because both Mrs. Nyong and her son suffer from intellectual disability, they are unable to deal with household chores properly.
The rain flooded my house and made it wet all over.
Worried about the living environments of the mother-son pair after a flash flood hit several areas in Penang, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to help clean up their house and let the son, Bun Leong, to clear out the items they were not used anymore. Their relatives also joined in to help out.
We may visit them once every week or 2 weeks. If they need anything for help, for example, like going to the hospital, I will drive them there.
If we as relatives don't help him in this way, then who will help him? We cannot be a bystander to this family. We should try our best to help them. You volunteers came to help with love and compassion.
Everyone works with one heart to clean up the house from day to night, restoring a more comfortable living environment for this family.
Tzu Chi kindergartens in Kepong and Pandan Indah, Malaysia, have been teaching their students traffic rules so that students can recognize traffic signs and better protect themselves when venturing onto the street.
The Malaysian Road Safety Department reports that on the average, 6,000 people die on the road every year. This led the Tzu Chi kindergarten in Pandan Indah to hold a traffic simulation class to teach children about traffic regulations.
When I drive, can I jump over here? No, I must go this way. Kids must learn through games and through experiences. If you just keep saying something in class, they won't understand.
A Tzu Chi kindergarten in Kepong teaches children the work of a rescue team when a traffic accident happens. In this simulation class, children are learning the right attitude when using the road.
还有小规则，因为等一下会穿车。黄就是停，停就是走。
黄是什么？
就是准备要停了。
Following the traffic rules can protect oneself and other people. When they learn the rules at a young age, it will reduce traffic accidents in the future.
The University of Southern California in the U.S. collaborated with 6 Tzu Chi hospitals in Taiwan on a 3-year project to monitor the health of diabetic patients. Using a mobile app, the Intergeneration Mobile Technology Opportunities Program helps patients establish healthy habits to control their blood sugar levels. The project was funded by the Fubon Group under the leadership of a professor at the University of Southern California, Xiao Xin-yi, a former Tzu Chi who wanted to apply her work to help care for seniors in Taiwan.
Since these seniors are not familiar with tablet computers, college students offer them one-on-one tutoring to reduce their fear of technology. However, this class is not simply a computer course, but designed for diabetic patients to learn how to use a mobile app.
根据糖尿病的饮食
I introduced them to a series of issues regarding diets, administering medication, sports, mental health, stress management, and many other factors to help them cope with diabetes.
This program helps establish correct living habits through a mobile app and a tablet computer. It's promoted by a professor of the University of Southern California, Xiao Xin-yi. She hopes to contribute a little to enhance the quality of medical treatments in Taiwan.
台湾中正大学就是慈青。
When I studied at the National Zhongzheng University, I was at Tzu Chi. Now, as a professor of the University of Southern California, I hope to integrate the professional knowledge of social work from the Western countries with Tzu Chi's specialty in medical treatment.
The program lasted for a total of 8 weeks, with 16 hours of courses, and was held at 6 Tzu Chi hospitals in Taiwan.
The teachers taught me not only how to use the tablet computer, but also how to communicate with other diabetic patients. All of this introduction helped them improve their eating habits and diet control.
Students from 5 different universities in Taiwan volunteer in this event, making the classes more lively and interesting.
Both my grandpa and my grandma suffer from diabetes. I hope I can learn from this experience to help my family.
There are many volunteer services in Hualien. I can practice communicating with seniors through serving them. I think this experience helps me to better communicate with my grandma at home.
After the class, everyone loved the convenience that technology brought them.
It's useful because I can learn many things from it. For example, I can find the glycemic index of a particular food on the internet.
I can learn a lot of knowledge associated with diabetes on the internet.
Last time I went to see Dr. Guo and had a checkup, he said my health condition had improved a lot. It's great to have this class.
Chen Ailin is an alumnus of University of Southern California, as well as the director of Fubon Group. She did everything possible to support the 3-year project, hoping to make more diabetic patients in Taiwan enjoy better health.
Tzu Chi's Northern California chapter recently opened a new senior care center. The center is already offering a special class in Chinese to help local seniors maintain good physical health and keep their minds sharp. Let's see what volunteers in Northern California are up to. Cutting the ribbon marks the official opening of the Tzu Chi Senior Care Center in Northern California.
We have a lot of caring people here in the Bay Area who helped Tzu Chi be able to rebuild this park area. A lot of effort went into the work, and now we have the Senior Care Center as a result.
Even from the first day, the center is already looking after the health of seniors in the community. The center will accept anyone over 65 years of age.
Actually, our first thought was just how can we take care of the elderly and prevent dementia? So we did some research and developed a course that really focuses on getting the elderly to use hands, body, and mind. So this course that we've arranged has actually been well thought out. This program should increase the physical health and preserve the mental abilities of seniors. We have invited doctors and nurses to come in and give lessons.
完是忘了回家了，这就是返老还童。
Our program covers all kinds of topics on health and preparedness. They've taught about health and things like CPR.
For many immigrants, overcoming the language barrier in America is often the biggest difficulty. Fortunately, for seniors in this immigrant community, Tzu Chi is providing a course in Chinese to help safeguard their physical health and mental faculties. Each year, Fuding Hospital in Fujian, China hosts a humanitarian camp for new employees. At this year's two-day camp, not only did participants experience Tzu Chi's humanitarian culture, but they were also invited to practice recycling and conduct home visitations.
For the past 10 years, Fuding Hospital has been hosting humanitarian camps for new employees. This year, many former attendees came to help out as volunteers.
Since I joined volunteer training, I can better relate to what the patients are going through. It is a difficult time for their family members as well. So we try our best to console them.
Through the film, compassion is ignited. A formal ceremony also helps acknowledge the importance of a doctor's mission.
The greatest thing Tzu Chi has taught me is to have a sense of mission for my job and to serve others with love.
We should treat them gently and view them as our own grandparents or mother and father.
Besides learning about Tzu Chi's humanistic spirit, participants practiced recycling and visited the sick and poor, nurturing empathy and compassion.
These people have no money to see a doctor and are always hungry. I was struck by what I saw.
Their living conditions are not ideal, but they work very hard every day just to survive. Despite their circumstances, they haven't given up hope.
The superintendent of the hospital also set time aside to attend the two-day camp.
When you first met me, I may have come across as patronizing, but when you see me now, I have become a more humble person.
Fang Han-Wu, a volunteer from Kaohsiung who is also a baker, recently went to Selangor, Malaysia to take up the task of teaching a baking class at the Tzu Chi 4-in-1 officer training camp. Although it seemed like a simple cooking class to make Manto Bread, participants soon found out that Mr. Fang had more to teach than just baking. Let's take a look. These volunteers that aren't sure about the baking directions are quick to ask the baker for clarification. In Selangor, Malaysia, these volunteers are learning how to make delicious Manto Bread from baker Fang Han-Wu.
So to make it rise just a little bit, you only need to cut it about this size so it won't look bad.
Mr. Fang runs his own bakery in Kaohsiung and is also a Tzu Chi volunteer. He recently took the opportunity to visit this 4-in-1 Tzu Chi officer training camp in Selangor, Malaysia, not only to teach his trade as a baker, but also to spread the Dharma.
Like the Master often teaches us, we have to be mindful in everything we do. When I am working with the dough, I have to be mindful of how I'm kneading the dough. If you don't knead carefully, there will be uneven consistency with hard chunks in the bread. It won't be soft or taste good. So you can see, even making manto bread, the idea is the same. If you want a good result, you have to be mindful of yourself in any environment.
With love as the key ingredient, Mr. Fang is happy to teach these volunteers just as they are happy to learn.
It really left a strong impression on me when he told me that we shouldn't think of this as a kind of work, but rather as a kind of meditative practice and a chance to cultivate ourselves. I was in a bad mood a few days ago, but his words today and seeing him work really had a positive influence on me and cheered me up.
When one learns to change their perspective, work is no longer a cause for stress, but instead an opportunity for mindful cultivation. In Indonesia, a young lady, Intan, was contemplating suicide as the best way to solve her relationship problems. Her friends were concerned to see her continue suffering and invited her to join Tzu Chi activities. With Tzu Chi, she found new meaning in life and even mended her strained relationship with her parents.
I've done something immature because of relationship problems. I was very depressed. And I wanted to end my life twice.
There's a saying that the eldest sister is often like a second mother in a big family. But for Intan, it's quite the opposite, as she didn't care much for her 6 brothers and sisters. Suffering from depression, the tension between her and her father made Intan's symptoms even worse. It was when her friend invited her to get involved in Tzu Chi that she saw there was more to life. Getting to personally know those more disadvantaged than her has made Intan value everything in her life even more.
When I heard that man say he and his child were involved in a car accident and his child died, and he suffered a broken leg, I was really heartbroken.
Intan realized that if she wanted to change her life around, it needs to start with her inner self. Picking herself back up, Intan now helps out around her parents' store during her spare time from studying finance at school.
She's much more helpful around the house. In the past, I'd ask her to carry the dishes, but she wouldn't. But now she loves to do good deeds. She loves to join in Tzu Chi's free clinics or home visitations. Even if it rains, she's there.
Now Intan is looking to a brighter path with her parents by her side, all because she looks at life with a positive attitude. In Jakarta, Indonesia, a recent gray uniform training seminar was held to invite more individuals to join Tzu Chi. Those interested came to learn more about Tzu Chi and receive some spiritual wisdom for the days ahead. Here's more.
A recent volunteer training course was held in Jakarta, Indonesia at a distribution center to give the participants easy access to the lessons. This lesson isn't just to help them further understand Tzu Chi's missions, but to also fill their spiritual needs.
They can purify their own spirit and get along with their families while overcoming obstacles in their lives.
Tzu Chi volunteers also share their own experiences in how their lives have changed since joining the organization, inviting everyone to walk the road of compassion.
This is what we should be doing, sharing the Master's good deeds with others. She said we should seize all opportunities to form kind affinities with others.
Betty Susanti has brought her relatives and friends to join this community volunteer training, though they are of different faiths. Everyone is committed to doing good deeds.
I've asked my friends to join me in participating in daily savings. Through our small collective efforts, we can help many people.
Charitable efforts begin within the community, and every little bit counts to make a society more harmonious.
In Malacca, Malaysia, Tzu Chi recently held a ceremony to recognize 16 new Da'ai mothers who will assist at Tzu Chi schools. That's all the time we have for today. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us.